Hi friends, this is Narendra from Naren System Talk. Today, I still want to digress from some of the topics, core topics of our spirituality, which our video is meant to be. Our videos and series are meant to be that, but some of these topics are pertaining to global geopolitics, which are in nature of that nature that which we need to take into account and which influence us in many ways and which may further uh, be a catalyst to what a nation will be or our future generation will be. So let us dive into that. Though I want to continue this video as a spiritually informative video, so but I will also talk about what is the geopolitics of it and how we can connect it with our own topics. So let's go at it. What I want to talk in today's video is our subject is that India's Operation Sindoor, which was in response to 22nd April terror attack by Resistance Front, which was an offshoot of Lashkar-e-Taiba. So what we got was an attack from the Pakistani military based usual strategy, that is the hybrid war against India, the conventionally much bigger India, which Pakistan directly cannot confront directly. It needs a multiple player, both non-state actors, state actors. So they use all of them efficiently to make a imbalance or create a certain disturbance in this uh, South Asian subcontinent. So you got one of those attack on 22nd April. Previous to which you had Pathankot and Uri attacks, which had Indian government into act in a certain surgical strikes. It proved that this was not the case this time. This was a more heinous and condemnable attack on back of that. So what had this war uh, exposed or given us or taught us lesson which as a India as a country can learn. So what you can learn is that this attack was a very brazen attack, and Indian public opinion was for all for a war with or striking the enemy target and bringing the perpetrators. So Modi government was under immense pressure for doing something which this attack will not recur. Having been 2 weeks of meticulous planning, the army went into the hinterlands of Pakistan, that is Punjabi province, also along with Kashmir and Pakistan occupied Kashmir, and calibrated and precision strikes, they decimated the network of terrorist camps, and some of them had collateral damage. As you know that in military strikes you do have some 30 children, some 30 people, and the children were said to be have died in this campaign. So Pakistan was also under pressure to retaliate. Asim Munir, the general, was in charge, and he had some bad mouthing previously regarding this India and other. As usual, you have with India and Pakistan rivalry. So they decided, along with the Indian, missionary, Pakistani military missionary, which went into action quickly. It retaliated by drone attacks inside Rajasthan and bordering areas of India and Pakistan. So this tit for tat went on for some times, uh, and India used some of the weapons used were 4.5 generation Rafales, which were purchased from France, Dassault fighter, the Dassault company, and the MiGs. Maybe they are used, I don't know, but the Pakistan side used J-10s fighter jet and PL-15 rockets. India used Akash missile and so on and so forth. They both used what is under their disposal, what was needed at the time, and decision of the commander at the time, that was used. So, to full effect, India is said to have achieved its objective according to the CDS or Chief of Defence Staff, Mr. Chauhan. So, in this whole war, after the smoke of the war was going on, it escalated to the point that India needed to attack near the nuclear fuselage, nuclear stockpile or command center near there, and that area was under attack. So this brought in United States, which was under the slumber until then. President of US, when asked a few days before this attack, he had categorically denied that he would involve in any means or any way in a mechanism that would involve him or any third party. So, but what happened when the escalation went to as near as nuclear warhead or nuclear command center was being targeted as nearly as it can? The Secretary of State of United States, Marco Rubio, was in touch with Pakistani establishment as well as Indian counterpart, and J.D. Vance, Vice President of US, was in touch with Indian Prime Minister Modi. So after this, these events which were subsequently occurring, there was a pressure on both sides to stop the war. Among themselves, it was a relief because it was going into a major catastrophe, or two nuclear armed nations coming head to head. So even if you take as collateral damage, when India had to bear a maximum collateral damage, say from Mumbai or Delhi was attacked by one of the Pakistan's medium range. They have MRMB, that is medium range ballistic missile. That is enough for the range of India to cover to till Delhi or Mumbai. That is enough for them. So that is why the sudden negotiations, sudden talks from United States happened to stop this ongoing war, which was on the escalatory mode. After that, what happened was a very depressing point because it showed the lacuna of Indian leadership on the topest level, and the diplomatic failure was seen because instead of either of the parties announcing ceasefire, it was said that Indian DGMO or Indian military leadership also had said that in media that Pakistan had dialed the Indian CDS or Indian military leadership for offering of ceasefire, and India agreed upon it, and they also did a ceasefire. But what was the necessary for ceasefire when it was going on? Necessary was one, it was into escalatory mode, which went into the nuclear paradigm. Where if it had happened so, then it would be a catastrophe. Second was the pressure point from United States, which some of them had they have agreed that United States was pivotal in playing some role in calming this event. Though Donald Trump said, I don't know the veracity of the claim, but he was the first person to claim, instead of the either party, he came to Truth Social, which is his own media platform, and declared that there was a ceasefire between these two countries. And he was talking as if he is making two warring kids who are in fight. He wanted to stop them. So that is his analogy given to Ukraine and Russia as well, when recently German Chancellor Merz came to visit US President in the Oval Office. So he gave the same analogy, but it was dismissed by Vladimir Zelensky. Because this is not like a kid's play, and Vladimir Putin certainly is not a kid in any sense. So this is Donald Trump's way of thinking. So what happened? What is the lacuna here? Military objectives were met, but pending the uh, bringing the perpetrator, real perpetrators themselves, that is resistance front members who claim to have done this attack, they are at large still. But some of the terror camps and the military posture has changed of India, which is very good. And India has effectively used its precision guided weapons and other things, other military aspects into its fullest, which is also commendable. But the lacuna is that missing is that diplomatic front. Even though militarily also India is said to have lost one or two planes, which neither India neither confirmed or denied initially, but the French Dassault, the maker of the plane, also didn't clearly give an answer. But later the CDS himself confirmed this. That is, Mr. Chauhan himself confirmed this on a Bloomberg televised address he gave in an interview, that he has given that the plane was shot down. Few planes, that is one or two planes. It was a tactical error. He told it will be rectified. Having the minor hiccups, apart from that, by and large, India has achieved and has given Pakistan a warning that this will be more escalatory if such a non-state actors are used to provoke. So where is India's problem here is Donald Trump coming and giving a statement that he has given, overlapping or over the sight of both the leadership, that is India and Pakistan. He came over them and gave a statement which is not correct diplomatically. He was not a party involving or the third party involving in negotiation, as you see in Iran talks or Ukraine Russia talks, which were going in Saudi Arabia and Istanbul recently. So why this? India is not prepared to give firm reply to Donald Trump. That is, it is not none of your business. India has been saying. India's point is that we don't want to internationalize this Kashmir issue, which is a bilateral issue we will solve among them ourselves. But this has been internationalized. This is a diplomatic failure. This has been internationalized, which in itself is a failure. Then second failure comes from an ironclad front. Yes, you have a defense pact. You have Su-30 MKI planes coming from Russia. You have S-400s. You have T-90 tanks. You have many other from Russia, from Soviet era. You have been having this pact. But that does not mean Vladimir Putin came and stood by you in an ironclad. Just after condemning the Pakistani, the terror attack there, they didn't go further beyond by standing with India in this military operation. Any country for the time, liberal democracies, Western democracies, never came, never had a word to say except that both sides need to calm down. Whereas Pakistan had a backing from Turkey. Turkey also gave many of the drones, which 400 drones were given to Turkey, by Turkey to Pakistan. And you have of course China, all-weather friend. The all-weather friend doesn't mean only the military pact. It means that any other circumstances which is very volatile, or you are becoming very susceptible to, the friend in need will come to friend indeed. That is, any military attack or any if you are feeling vulnerable to any foreign power, the country concerned will come to your aid or come to your side and stand by you with their full defense and money power and other things, moral support also. But India didn't receive because India stood neutral on everything. Say, Russia-Ukraine war. Where is your stance? Your TV has been parroting especially Palki Sharma, Arnab Goswami. These kind of anchors are doing nothing but giving some Russian talking points. They are not neutral. Where is the neutrality? You have been India has been absent in UN resolution on almost on every occasion, including the genocide in Bucha committed by Russian forces in Ukraine. You have not stood anywhere. At least on that one occasion you should have stood by Ukraine. So Western alliances you are against, and Russia is only a military pact kind of a country where you can make military pact. You are giving money and you are buying. Russia didn't have any ironclad commitment to India on any other issues, including India Pakistan. So leave it to China. If it hypothetically, if China comes and attacks or comes inside, or it occupies the land which is very contentious in LAC or Arunachal Pradesh, what is your stand? What is the Russia stand? Russia will be neutral anyway. Russia cannot go against China, which Russia is the biggest benefactor of China. Russia is a junior part of China, and it is a reverse of where Soviet Union was the big brother of China at that time. Today, China is emerging or already emerged superpower, so competing with United States on all the fronts. You name it, AI, infrastructure. It has gone beyond also in some of the fields. So China is using proxies and proxy nations against India. For example, Bangladesh. A coup in Bangladesh, India is seen very weak because India could not influence anything in Bangladesh in its own vicinity, where Sheikh Hasina ran and came to India to take asylum. And there are theories by Arnab Goswami and Palki Sharma that United States orchestrated this coup. Maybe, but what is your influence? Where is Russia then? What is Russia doing? Russia failed to uh, defend its own allies, namely Muammar Gaddafi. You name them. You name Syrian President Bashar al-Assad when he was attacked by al-Shara and his forces who were against the Syrian government, which is friendly to Russia. Russia is a supporter, very much big supporter of Assad government, and which was against United States also. US had some cronies, its own rebel groups, which were fighting against Syrian government. So Syria became a playground, the war game between the Russia and United States, where Russia is propping up its own cronies and rebel groups, and United States is having its own groups, each fighting at each other. It is a civil war, and Bashar al-Assad was sitting on the seat of government, but Putin could not do anything because he was engaged in himself in Ukraine war. And this Ukraine war is going on for 3.5 years, which is a big failure for Russia, big country like Russia. It had to bring Shahid drones from Iran. It had to bring North Korean soldiers in Kursk region, where only until recently the Ukrainian forces were backed off, were thrown out of that region by all these tactics of bringing foreign powers, mercenaries, all these things. So, where is your moral ground? Whom are you standing? Where is Quad? Because you stood with BRICS, you are neither in BRICS. BRICS, again, you have China, which is siding with Pakistan here. So you have conflicting kind of groupings you are standing with. One is BRICS, which is against you, neighborhood. China is against you. In the part of the BRICS is China, and again you are in Quad, which is a democratic alliance grouping against Chinese rising China in South China Sea. So against Taiwan and other forces, they need to stand up. So you need to stand up. So they form the alliance of Quad. Quad is a grouping of US, UK, India, and some other countries. This Quad uh, is a bulwark against the rising China in South China Sea, its influence, and wherein the United States Navy is finding very difficult to navigate, and China's ambition is to throw out the US Navy out of the South China Sea periphery and thereby have the full control over there in a first chain and second chain also, including Philippines. It is tormenting Philippines. So these are the things going on. You don't have Philippines on your back because you need to give ironclad commitment to Philippines. You should stand with Philippines. You should stand with Taiwan. You should stand with Ukraine on this war. Be it Russia has given you the weapons, but Russia has not committed like China has committed to Pakistan as an ironclad friend, all-weather friend. In fact, in after 1971, none of the Kargil war or even the recent wars, Mumbai attacks, no, there is no ironclad friendship between Russia and India. Of course, Russia is building some nuclear reactors. You have purchased some of the weapons from Russia, but that does not mean it is like Pakistan and China friendship. Pakistan is like used like a proxy against India. The Gwadar port, the 3,000 kilometer Belt and Road Initiative, is going through Pakistan and ending in Gwadar port also. And they are building a big port there. They have the economic interest in Pakistan. They are given lots of weapons of China in Pakistan. Despite having some of the Chinese killed due to terror attack, it was overseen by China. And still they are maintaining that friendship because they have a long-standing alliance. Similarly, United States has an alliance, though albeit Trump is distorting and throwing away, unraveling all this friendship built for 75 years. NATO, he is threatening the own NATO, like what India is doing, playing like neutral and not building alliance. This guy, United States, when it has built carefully this NATO alliance, is threatening the NATO. So NATO has given life. Only once recently has Article 5 of NATO been enacted. That is during September the 11th, 9/11 attacks. So then all the NATO members stood by United States. They fought along United States, and they have committed from war in Afghanistan to Iraqi Operation Iraqi Freedom. Many British, Canadian, and other soldiers have given their lives. So NATO has been a strong partner and backer of United States despite the first Gulf War, which is called which was started by George H.W. Bush, the father of George Bush Jr., who was later the president as well, his son. That Desert Storm was in 1991 when he proclaimed war against Saddam Hussein for starting a war with Kuwait. When he occupied Kuwait, UN sanctioned that war, and alliance of NATO went in and captured Baghdad within few days. It was a success, tremendous success. But again, if you come to the second part, George W. Bush in 2003, when he started the war on Iraq, in the pretext of still finding WMD, weapon of mass destruction, which was not found, and the false pretext he attacked Iraq. NATO members resisted. There was no UN. It was not UN backed, resolution backed war. Yet some of the allies like UK stood by US and ironclad friendship. There again you see, even United States from the 1940s, when Japan attacked Pearl Harbor, they had the alliance backing them. Then they came naturally. Anyway, they were doing London lease supply and a Marshall Plan after that, reconstruction of Europe. So Europe had the debt to be paid. So in friendship also, they were indebted to United States, and they had the 32 nation bloc NATO, which is strong and solid. They stood by. Now Donald Trump is went on destroying that friendship by his reckless words and other things. That's a different issue. But alliances are needed when you have a bigger challenge. You have a two fronts, two and a half fronts. One is eastern side is China. That's the main adversary for you, not Pakistan. Now your main adversary is China. Your second and proxy adversary is Pakistan. They can torment you on both sides. What will you do? Will you fight alone? Will you stand without any ironclad friendship? Now Russia will be neutral in any conflict between China and India, because Russia cannot antagonize anyway China, the big brother, and its long-standing partner, trading partner India cannot also be given a U-turn. So Russia will be neutral. Who will come to your friendship? Who will come to your defense? Only the liberal democracies, Western Europe, entire European countries. You can have an alliance, ironclad friendship. You had a trade deal done with Britain now. Now you can have an all-weather friendship, defense pact, and the AUKUS deal. Leave the AUKUS deal. You can do Quad. Have a leadership role in Quad instead of Jaishankar going and lecturing and playing to the domestic audience that he is a big man. Let him build alliance. Stand in one side. You cannot play both sides forever. United States bloc and Russia. You cannot play two big players. Like you are neutral and you are supporting one person covertly. You cannot do that game. That game is up. That was exposed in India-Pakistan war when OIC countries, that is Organization for Islamic Countries, obviously for religious reason, maybe, and Turkey and Azerbaijan, China, all stood by Pakistan firmly. Turkey was on the side, so India cancelled Turkish um, people who were going for the vacation. Tourism was stopped to Turkey. That is not an answer. You have to make an alliance. That is it. You cannot go like telling you are a big man and a big bully or a big in words. Whether it is Jaishankar or I blame all the governments of India being very neutral, very soft, not involving in any of the conflicts in a very useful manner. You give only statements. Yes, I condemn Gaza. I condemn Ukraine. I never condemn Russia, but I am neutral. Where are you, man? I mean, you have to stand with Ukraine in this one, and you have a leverage. You are buying oil, cheap oil. You are buying weapons. You should stand with. You should tell Putin, boss, you just stop this war. It is bloody, and it is not in anyone's interest. It is going to be a world war. It will spread. It will spiral out of control. And all these smaller players like Turkey and Saudi Arabia, and I'm not saying smaller player means in terms of population and reach which India has capability. Turkey is hosting the peace talks of Ukraine and Russia. Saudi Arabia is doing. Qatar is playing role in the Gaza war and recent Iran attacks which is happening. Qatar again, they are into it. So I'm telling you, these wars, whenever there is a conflict, whenever you find one side is being mercilessly being the aggressor, other is being the victim, you should support the victim side of it, and you have to play a moral high ground. There will be an image boost for India. If you are silent or unseen, then nobody will notice you, and nobody will play a pivotal role in any of your challenges in coming years. So coming years are very dangerous as the events are looking like recent Iran and Israeli war, where Israel has targeted almost many sites and killed nuclear scientists and other important commanders in Iran. I would urge India to take a firm stand and facilitate some of the uh, mediations which are going. Even Israeli ambassador to India told that India should play a very very big role in all this. India should take a moral leadership, wherein it is an opportunity for India. Also for China is looking for that, as it is a bigger player, where United States will vacate, or it will placate its responsibility, where Trump is being an isolationist. He is going on an isolation path. He wants America first and America alone. So this is an opportunity for you, where US is not verily involved in anything very seriously, and US is not taken seriously by any leaders, including the warring parties of Israel and uh, Iran, where Israel went alone. They didn't give any notification, or they didn't say when Trump had told that Israel should be um, not attack Iran, will refrain from attacking Iran, because the talks are going on. But Israel went ahead, so there is no value for Trump's word. Again, Operation Web, Spider Web. Trump was not notified by Zelensky, who is actually a benefactor of big benefactor, and need a support of US. So US is seen as something which is irrelevant more and more by today's world conflicts, leaders of the world, and the conflict, the leaders who are in the conflict, in that particular conflict also, they are disregarding the leadership of United States because of his reckless behavior. So on that count, you can take some of the lead role. India can take. So India's diplomacy got exposed in this Indo-Pak standoff, and it's like, it is good because you can improvise on that instead of giving big talks and standing on one-upmanship against the European and American delegates. Jai Shankar, please do a alliance building. This is my humble request to Indian leadership. This has been said for 75 years, so it should be corrected properly. At least the current government, after the current lacuna, I can say, it's not a big failure, but it is a wake-up call, I can say. So by this, I want to end. Please follow this. This is a request of an Indian citizen. So we are part of the world, Vasudeva Kutumbakam. We should be part of an alliance as well. India cannot do alone. With that, I want to sign off. Narendra here. Please subscribe to my channel. More good videos are coming in, and you can put your own comments below what you think of. Thanks.